Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome again to my YouTube channel, Eric Broadus YouTube. I say welcome again to my YouTube channel, Eric Broadus YouTube. And for tonight's topic, it's obviously some military content, and I'm just going to be brief and to the point. And so tonight's topic that I want to talk about in the military, the importance of training. And I'll say it again, the importance of training. And this video is for anybody, for those that may be considering having a career in the military, and for those that are, already in, or whatever stage you are in your career, and just for anybody that wants to watch it, because it can be applied to other areas. But I felt the timing was right for this particular topic, because I felt that with the war going on in Ukraine, that it would drive the point home. And a lot of times when we are in the armed forces and we're provided the training, which it is paid for, but for us it's free. And so a lot of times, because we may not have to pay out of our pocket, for the training, sometimes we can take it for granted. And so I want to stress the importance of training in the military. What's the importance of training? Well, number one, training basically teaches you the particular skills, and second, you learn how to prep and how to improve and hone those skills. So training is preparation and instruction, and those two things are basic foundations, and they are important. And I'll give you a good example. If you look at the war that's going on in Ukraine now, I'm quite sure you might have heard, if you've been able to watch the news, that the Russian military may be having some problems or some difficulties, whether it's due to outdated equipment or if it's due to training. And training is crucial. And I think in a combat zone, when life and limb are on the line, and a country hangs in a balance over it, or the global economy behind it hangs in a balance, I think it drives it home the importance of something so simple or small that they teach you in a training course, how it all unfolds and it plays out in the big picture when money is on the line. And when I say money on the line, I'm not talking about just some economy, I'm talking about people's lives, But it is important that when you receive training and instruction in the military to pay attention and to take that training seriously and learn all that you can from what you are being taught and instructed to do. But training, it teaches you how to do your job. And when you have knowledge and the proper training, knowledge is power. It makes you obviously more valuable to your unit, and to others around you, and those skills, many of which you can even take to the outside as a civilian. But the importance of training, there are different types of training. There are courses like, what do they have? I remember the self-aid buddy care, where they teach everything, from how to, tie a tourniquet. A tourniquet obviously is the last resort, to try to save a limb or to stop somebody from bleeding out. But if that tourniquet is obviously on there too long, that limb is gone. But I'm just using that as an example. If you get, really badly wounded, and bleeding needs to stop and it's so severe, a tourniquet is the last resort. But if you don't know how to properly do these things, something so simple or small could be the difference between you having a prosthetic limb and basically from your limbs being saved. Something so simple as that. Let's see, what else you have? You have the CPR training that the military provides, and obviously, you definitely want to make sure you pay attention to that, because if somebody is not breathing, that could be the difference between life or death. But all of these skills can come to the forefront on the battlefield. Simple skills like, I'll give you a good example. Let's talk about, let's see, what are some of the other skills that are needed? And I won't bother with the infantry right now. Let's go with, say, logistics. What about your cooks? You got to have good supply chain. And that's another problem where Russia has been having a problem in this war with Ukraine, because their supply chain is not as efficient as it should be. So those that are loggies or into logistics, supply and stuff like that, that is a crucial career field in the military. Honestly, it actually is. It may not seem like it, but it is. But in a combat zone, in a fight, you can't win a war if you don't have any supplies. You can't. If your troops don't have supplies, how can they get the mission accomplished? Definitely your cooks. If you don't services, if you don't have food, troops gotta eat. I ain't never known, and I'm saying ain't. I've never known a hungry group, of soldiers or a fighting machine that could survive being hungry or without food. You need food and water. And something that may seem as menial as a cook, that skill is crucial when you got to feed the troops. They got to eat, the troops need fuel. If you don't get food and water, then eventually you'll die. I believe water is like, I think 72 hours. I think you can go a week, maybe a week without food or something like that, a week, or maybe a little bit longer, but eventually you will die if the troops starve. So I'm just using, those career fields as an example, because a lot of times people may look at the more what they consider to be the prestigious career fields. Everybody wants to be the warrior, or maybe they want the more technical, career fields, more like air traffic controller, the people that are working on the satellites, the infantry guys, the special forces, what I'm saying? But even in those particular career fields, they definitely have to pay attention to their training, because without it, you're not going to make it through air traffic control. You definitely make it through something like that. That's technical. Nursing is another. You got to know math, and there's more to it than just that. What I'm saying? But you stick somebody the wrong way, as a nurse in the military, then what you think is going to happen? Or if you're a doctor or a physician in the military, so pay attention to your training, the importance of training. And obviously special forces goes without saying. You don't pay attention to your training there may be some small detail that you need. And many times it's not the big things that will make or break you. Honestly, it's the little things, little minute details. And a lot of times in a peacetime environment, when everything is normal, we don't notice it and we take it for granted. But then you get into a hazardous situation or a combat zone, all of that can change instantly. All of that. What's another career for hazardous? Dealing with bioenvironmental or hazardous materials. I believe the Air Force calls it, with all of this would fall under civil engineering, whereas the Navy would fall under CBs. The Marine Corps would be, I believe, like the Devil Dogs or something like that. And what would it be? Army is Army Corps Engineers, and the Coast Guard, I forgot the name of their maritime, but what you call it, the equivalent of civil engineering would be, where they bioenvironmental, all that stuff would fall under. But basically the same training, same skill set. But you have to pay attention to your training. Training also keeps your skills current and up to date, because your skills can get rusty. If you don't do something for a while, you can kind of get rusty on it and kind of, forget about it. So you have to train, periodically in order to keep your skills current and up to date, and also keep them on the cutting edge. You know, the importance of training. You know, and it is important to be, I would say, what's the correct word I want to say? I don't want to say diverse. I'm trying to use another word, you know, but you need to be well-rounded in your training. So some things with your training you may be able to do on a computer, you know, and then some things you may have to learn how to do it manually. You know, what happens if you're in a combat zone and you know, systems go down? You know, can you do that job, you know, manually, you know, from scratch? You know what I'm saying? Same thing like doing math. You know, can you do math in your head versus relying on a calculator? You know, so I'm just using to reiterate, you know, the point and to drive it home. The importance, excuse me guys, the importance of training. So, you know, make sure you take the training on your job or whatever it is that they give you in the military. Take it seriously and take advantage of it, because you never ever know when you are going to need to rely and to call on that knowledge. You never ever know. And this war in Ukraine with Russia is definitely proving it. One little thing or one detail, you know, going one way or the other can be the turning and the tipping point of a given situation. So just something quick to think about, but the importance of training. The importance of training in the military. You know, take the instruction that you are being given, take advantage of it. Because on the outside, you know, everybody doesn't get this. And then also these courses that they give you in the military and the training, it costs a lot of money. Believe you me, it costs a lot of money. You know, and even though you may not be paying for it directly, it's coming out, you know, out of your tax dollars, and other taxpayers are paying for it. You know what I'm saying? So there's always a cost. But again, the name of this video is the importance of training. The importance of training. So, and that's for those of you that are in, and for those that are considering going in. Consider what Russia's going through, you know, with Ukraine, and how their supply lines, you know, supply chains seems to be broken and things aren't working right. You know what I'm saying? And that's due to either, it could be, some of it is, like I said, you know, antiquated equipment, and some of it is a lack of training. And that lack of training is beginning to show, and it's crucial because people at war, people's lives are on the line. But anyway, that's all I have on this one. And the name of my YouTube channel is Eric Broadus YouTube. That's EricBroadus YouTube, or ericbroadusyoutube.com. So please subscribe to my channel. Smash that bell to become a subscriber. Hit the like button to like the video, and please leave a comment. You know, if you don't like the video, hey, smash the unlike button. Hey, you know, everybody's entitled to their opinion, and still leave a comment. You know, everyone is entitled to their opinion, and none of us know everything, so someone else may have more in-depth knowledge that they could share. You know, and also I have a podcast called Snacks Thoughts. That's SNAKZTHOUGHTS, Snacks Thoughts. And you can find the podcast on Anchor, Acast, Spotify, Spreaker, Radio PBM, SoundCloud, and a host of other social media platforms. So please go over to Snacks Thoughts and subscribe and share it, and push both out. Eric Broadus YouTube and Snacks Thoughts. Share them, push them out. And lastly, I'm teaching courses on Skillshare on how to succeed in the military, leadership, diversity, and a host of other topics. So I'll leave the link, and please sign up on Skillshare. You know, and definitely, you know, knowledge is power. You know, and get all that you can get. But please share them, push them out. You know, friends, family, frenemies, enemies, rats, bats, cats, dogs, whatever. Share it, push it out, guys. And that's all I have on this one. Again, name of the video is the importance of training. All right, guys, catch you guys soon. See you on the next one. Later.